Hello everyone, my name is Brenda, my channel is Handwork Maniac, and I hope everyone feels welcome here. I'm going to talk about my cross-stitch projects. I do have one finish, a little bit of haul or stash acquisition, and my plans for December, because it's almost December. It's been several weeks since I made a video. Thank you so much to everyone who reached out to see if I was okay. That meant a lot to me. So crazy to me. I know everyone says that, but we don't know each other personally, but the community that we have through cross stitch is just amazing. I think that I was sick for a little while. I tested negative, so it was some kind of flu virus that was not COVID. And I think the pandemic, the stress of the pandemic and everything going on in the world right now just makes everything just that little bit harder to get done. But I'm doing good. My family's all good. I think we're all good. And I hope that you are all doing well. What a crazy thing. All right, let's start with, I don't think I showed this to you guys last time. I think I finished it since the last video. This is the Positivity Rules Stitch Along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It was a 5-month stitch along, and it ended in October, I think. So it is finished. I really enjoyed that. That was fun. I did that with my brother Walter and my sister-in-law Juliana. Gave it to me for my birthday, and they were working on it as well. My sister-in-law and niece were stitching it. That was really fun stitch along. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. I think I may just put it in a little frame, like a pre-made frame from Hobby Lobby or something. I think that would be cute. It's on 40 count. It's a really light pink. It's hard to see that, but it is pink. It's really light pink Zweigart blush. And it was 1 strand of floss over 2 fabric threads with the called for DMC floss. And you can still buy this pattern from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Oh, that wasn't a good throw. It ended up on the floor. I'll pick that up later. I have been doing lots of stitching. This is Huckleberry Farm. By the Blue Flower. I'm doing mine on 40 count Elegance by Silk Weaver. And this is what I have finished so far. Doing this as a stitch along with my friend Lonnie. She had to restart hers, so she was ahead of me, but now she's catching up. I finished the house, I finished all this lettering down here, finished the grass and the bear, who's apparently trying to get to the honey. And I'm pretty sure that little white picket fence is not going to keep him out of there at all. Such a beautiful pattern. So that's been fun to work on. It is mostly threads from my stash because I didn't have the threads that it called for. It's overdyed cotton. But if I had the color, I pulled it. If I didn't, I pulled a color that was very similar. A couple of colors I changed a little bit to look better on that fabric because mine is a lot more purple than the fabric that it calls for. And I am using 1 strand of floss over 2 fabric threads on the 40 count fabric. This is Sky Blue Street by Soda Stitch. I started in the middle and I'm working this direction. I'm working on this building right here, the flower shop. I didn't work on it a whole lot. I think last time you saw it, I had this cart of flowers. But now I have this window. Oh, and part of the door. I finished the door and this little roof and part of the window up here. This teal fabric is just fabric I sewed on there so that it would fit in the Q-snaps better. Because I didn't have a very big margin on the top and the bottom, and it wouldn't fit into my 11-inch Q-snaps very well. This is what it looks like so far. Love the bright colors in this one. It's on 36 count white linen. I started it with 1 strand of floss. Worked on it for a year, from mania to mania, from mania 18 to mania 19. Decided I didn't like, 19 to 20 actually. Decided I didn't like the 1 strand, so I wanted it 2 strands to just a little bit better coverage on here with these bright colors. My daughter Catherine took it home for my birthday and Mother's Day and added another strand to what I had already stitched, which was so nice of her. And then I was able to just keep going. Because I was thinking that's what I wanted to do, but I wasn't looking forward to all of that work. You're restitching everything you just stitched. It is the called for DMC, so 2 strands of floss over 2 fabric threads on 36 count. And that pattern is still available on Amazon to buy. Every once in a while it goes out of stock, but it seems to come back a few weeks later. This is the Linen and Threads stitch along from the Linen and Threads website. They have a yearly stitch along every year. And I did finish the November section, so that part right up there by my needle minder is the December section, and that is all that is left. It'll come out on the 1st of December, and then I'll be able to finish this one. This one is still available to purchase, and this one is not to purchase. This is a free stitch along. It had a section that came out every month. If you go to their website, to the 2020 stitch along, and then scroll down, you'll see all the different sections. They are still available, as well as their previous year's patterns are still on there. I'm doing mine on 40 count alabaster linen, and I'm using 4 or 5 different colors of dark blue silk, 1 strand. That was the section I did this month, was down there in the corner. And then I do have the one gray-green color, which is Silken Colors. Alpine Grasses. And the dark blue colors are Dinky Dyes Midnight, Belsois Blue Lagoon, 2 different dye lots of Belsois Blue Lagoon, a really light dye lot and a really dark with a little bit of light dye lot. So 2 different dye lots I'm using kind of as 2 different colors. And Gloriana in the navy. This one is Kringles by Little House Needleworks. Came out at Market in March. I'm sure you've all seen it. Little Christmas store. Doing this as a stitch along with my daughter Marie and my friend Kim. We're kind of trying to do one room a month, and then a little bit of the roof and a little bit of the sign kind of as we go each month. Although Marie has 2/3 of her roofs completely done already. I'm so jealous. Should not have taken that top one off. I'll just hold it. This is what I have done so far. I did this room for November, the little pastry window, I guess you'd call it. And then I did this little girl's room with the dollhouse and the dolls and the tea set. I did that in October. I worked on some more of the sign, did a little bit more on the roof up here. Was very excited that there were no bricks this month because I'm getting a little tired of those bricks, so that was a nice break. But that's been fun to work on. We have another row of rooms over here, but this is the bottom of the pattern and this is the top, and this is the side on this side. That one's been a lot of fun to work on. It has a sparkly gold color that's in every room somewhere. Right here it's in the chandelier. I know it doesn't show up on camera very well, but it adds that little extra bling to the pattern. It's really cute. It's the called for colors on 32 count Stormy Sky. Stormy Night. 32 count Stormy Night by Zweigart. 2 strands of floss over 2 fabric threads. All of the called for colors. It's part DMC, part over-dyed cotton is what it calls for. And the gold is a Veriswa size 4, number 128, and it's kind of a metallic braid. This one is Lost No More. It's a Dimensions kit. This is kind of my daily 30 piece. I try and work on it at least 30 minutes every day, sometimes an hour. It is on the kit fabric, which is an 18 count tannish color Ada. And I am using the kit floss. 2 strands of floss is what most of it is done in 2 strands of floss. Sometimes they have used 3 strands for effect. Part of it's in full X's, full cross, part of it's in half cross, but it almost always uses 2 strands and then sometimes 3 strands. And that's where I am so far. Loving how this is coming along. I'm working down here in this corner. It's a dark rock that he's sitting on. So not a lot of fun colors in there, but I was able to finish this whole section in the last month or so. This part over here. It is beautiful. It's based on artwork by Greg Olson. The kit is no longer available to buy new. but sometimes you can find it on the secondary market. I've had it in my stash for, gosh, probably 15 or 20 years ago that I bought it. I'm very glad that I'm finally getting to stitch it. This one's in a bag that has a story, but I will tell you the story in a minute when we get to stash. This is a piece I started on November 1st as part of the Carolyn Manning Stitch Along that Stacy at 911 Stitching is doing. 911 Stitcher? 911 Stitching. I can't remember. This is her beachcomber pattern that I've been admiring other people work on all year. She has several different colorways of this same pattern, and then she has some other patterns that are similar to this in several different colorways. And then she has a whole bunch of other patterns that are lots of beautiful patterns. This is where I am so far. I was surprised at how many colors are in it. It looks like a, you know, when you're just looking at the picture, it looks like a rather simple design. But it has this many colors, different colors in it. And I love how they're looking. It's so fun. I thought maybe if I went from corner to corner and then kind of started back up this way, that by the time I got to here, I would have forgotten the stitching on all this part, and then I'd be able to do that again over here, because obviously it's geometrical and this quadrant looks the same as this quadrant and this quadrant and this quadrant. So I'm trying to do it in a way where I don't get so sick of doing the, like if you start in the middle and then I think is actually right here, and then go out, you're stitching the same thing 4 times, and then you're stitching the same thing 4 times. So I decided I was not going to do it that way. I'll do it here to here, then maybe do a stripe up this way, and then go over to here, and then maybe by the time I come back over to here, it will have been a while ago and it won't be so fresh in my head. It's my theory anyway. But I'm enjoying it so far. It is on 25 count off-white even weave, and it's the called for DMC, and I'm doing 1 strand of floss over 1 fabric thread, full cross. The gray part here, again, this dark gray right here, is just fabric that I sewed to the edge of this, across to the even weave, because I don't have a very big margin right here, and having the stitching so close to the Q-snap and my clamp, my lap frame, the Elan lap frame that I use. The clamp is right here, so it was making it hard to stitch on this because it was so close to the clamp. So I just sewed that piece of fabric on there to make it easier to work on. This is my December focus piece, not December, November focus piece. And it is Churchyard Christmas by Praiseworthy Stitches. Very similar to the piece they're saying by Praiseworthy Stitches that I was working on in October. I was working on Bumpin' Tonight. This one's very similar, only it's a Christmas theme. It has, I love that it has the nativity right here in the middle. It has some people acting out the nativity. And then it has some ice skaters over here. I'm using the called for fabric, which is 32 count Mirage by Picture This Plus. So they're using that fabric color as the nighttime sky, as well as the ice that the skaters are skating on the ground down here. I wonder if is it all ice? Oh yeah, it's all ice. Everything that's blue is either ice or sky. I'm working over here. I finished this house. I finally put the runners on this sled so it didn't look like a carriage with no wheels. And I'm moving down. Right here is where I am. Thoroughly enjoying this piece. Using all the called for colors. It's all over dyed cotton that I ordered a year ago, October. I started it at Stitch West. No, I started it I started Bump Into Night at Stitch West. I started this one right after Stitch West. Back when you could just order any over-dyed cotton color you wanted and it was in stock. So glad I ordered it then, huh? And this, oh, one more. So I'm using 2 strands of floss over 2 fabric threads. This is where I am. So we can get the fabric out of the way so you can see it. Working now down here on this bottom house. And then the section, the white section that has the words on it is right there. This one has a lot of sparkle in it as well. It's got Krynic blending filament. There's some red in this red border, sparkly red. And then the edge of the snow always has a sparkle in it. And then these roofs will have sparkle in them as well. They are satin, vertical satin stitch for these roofs in 2 rows of it. And the directions recommend that you wait and do that at the very end so that you don't have so much wear and tear on that Krynic sparkly filament. So I'm going to leave those to the end, but I am doing it in the border as I go and in the edge of all the pieces that are just snow. Here's the little people in the sled. And these little people over here are ice skaters. Get that out of the way. There we go. Such a cute pattern. I love it. I don't think my focus piece in December will take the whole month of December, so I will keep working on this in December as well when I get the monthly piece for December finished. This, I have to move that to the other pile because it's part of haul, and I'll forget because I don't follow that rule that you can't use it until you show it on your video. I just use it as soon as it comes. This is the New Normal by Long Dog Samplers. This is colored pencil. It doesn't come this way. This is a monochromatic black and white chart. And this is where I am so far. Thoroughly enjoying this piece. I so love it. I was able to finish this bubble. I'm not really happy with how light this green is, but I'm not going to pull it out. I made the other places in the pattern where I was planning on using that light green, I made it switch to a little bit darker green. And then still use this light green in a little bit in a couple other places so it blends it all in together, and that's not the only place that it's used. But I'm not going to pull it out. I like it enough. So far I think I'm just going to leave it in there. Not really enjoying this pink bubble with this beautiful horse in it because it has all these little onesie twosie stitches out in the middle of nowhere. And with that dark pink, I have to be really careful to not trail the threads behind the fabric very far or you'll be able to see them. But I love the colors, love how it's looking, love the pattern. Really enjoying it. I pulled this pattern into Pattern Keeper. And I didn't realize it, but I had an issue when I pulled it in that I just discovered when I finished this green there is one column missing right here. I'm missing a whole column all the way, and it's at the page break from this page to this page, and it goes all the way down. And it happens every time there's a page break. I realized I'm missing one column all the way down. And it has to do with when you pull it in, it shows you a picture of the grayed out area between two pages, and it asks you how many rows are grayed out here. And then you tell it 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it stitches all those pages together based on what you told it. And so it showed me that 5 rows were grayed out, and that's what I chose, was 5. But for some reason, horizontally, it's got, I don't know, some quirky thing in the PDF pattern. It's no one's fault. It's just a weird thing. So I deleted it, pulled it back in, and chose 4 instead, just to see what it would do. And it fixed this problem. I'm no longer missing that one column row on each page overlap, but now I'm missing a row on this page overlap. What would you call that? The horizontal page overlap. But there's only 2, because this is only 3 pages tall, this pattern. It's 4 pages wide, 4 or 5. I think it's 5 pages wide, but it's only 3 pages tall, I think. So it's only twice that I am missing a row. Clear. No, actually what happened is now I have an extra row right here. These page breaks are fine, but now I have one extra row right here on the page break and one extra row right here on the page break. And I decided I was fine with that. I am totally fine. I can work around that. So I just went in and marked that extra row as done already, so that I'll remember when I'm scrolling down on my screen and get to there, I'll think, oh yeah, that's an extra row. Don't stitch that. Just ignore that. It'll be fine. It's nobody's fault. It's just a quirky thing. I know that Pattern Keeper is trying their best to write their program so that it accepts all kinds of PDFs, but they have no control over how the designer formats their PDFs. And the designers are just formatting their PDFs the way that works the best for them. It's not a big deal. I can totally work around that. So I'm missing one column here, but I caught it before. I'll just pull this little bit out right here and fix it. The rest of the pattern will be fine. This will be the only bubble that's missing that one column. And I'll just have to remember to not count off of this bubble when I'm working over here. I'll count off of this bubble as I work around, or I'll count off the border down here as I work around. It will be fine. You just move forward. It is what it is. You just move forward. No big deal. I am using the Sulky 12 weight thread to stitch this. These are the colors I have chosen. The list of the colors is in the description box below. Thoroughly enjoying these Sulky threads. I told my husband that I wanted the small petite spools. I wanted the full range of the Sulky colors, the blendables and the solids, for Christmas. And he was very nice and listened to me and ordered them. I believe they have come already, but he will neither confirm or deny that they are here yet. They're hidden somewhere, and he keeps telling me I'll just have to wait till Christmas. So that would be fun. Now I need to find a pattern to buy for Christmas to put with it so that I can use those, convert it to Sulky 12 weight and use the colors in that, something small. I'll have to think about that. That will be fun. Oh wait, that has to go in the other pile because that also is part of stash haul. Okay, this is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers, which will look like this when it is finished. This is, I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen so many different versions. Beautiful progress pictures on Instagram and Facebook. Oh, and everyone's doing it in different colors. I love to see all the different versions that are going on. I am doing mine with Sulky 12 weight as well on this one. Runny nose. And I am using the color, the blendable color Cactus. This is what I have done so far. Let's see if I can hold it. I started down here in the middle. I think the middle is right here-ish. And I have worked up this way. This is the top. I have decided when Marie was on 2 videos ago, you may remember that we had a discussion about how all long dogs have this outside border. This usually 2-row outside border, which I love. I think it makes it look so finished. I love that. But she was complaining that when you're using a blendable, if you want that border to run along continuously with the colors, you have to be really careful with your blendable thread as you go. And I had one person comment and say that they keep one petite spool out. What they're doing is keeping one spool out special just for the border. And then they just use that spool for the border so that they know that as they cut each piece off, then they're using, so the colors will continuously keep going and look nice, and you won't have some abrupt change in color where it's not supposed to be. Other people just stitch it as whatever piece comes off the roll whenever, and they don't worry about that. That's totally an option, which probably would have been me. But then I thought about it and thought, I'm going to do the border in the same color of dark green that I'm doing the back stitching. Where is their green back stitching that I can show you? Like these spiders right here are done in that dark green back stitching. I'll give you the color number here in a minute. It's DMC. So I just figured out what DMC color that was. Then I used my Sulky conversion card that I showed you 2 videos ago, I think. A video ago? I can't remember. I think it was 2 videos ago. I can't remember. Anyway, found a Sulky color that was almost just the same. So I ordered that. So that's what I'm using on the border there. I'm using a different Sulky teal color, a solid color for all the animals. And if there's back stitching on the animals, then I do it in that. I did find a DMC color that matches, so you do it in 1 strand of DMC because you can do. My daughter's doing all the back stitching with just the Sulky 12 weight, I think, and it looks fine. It's just a different look. I liked the more finer detail in the back stitching with the 1 strand of DMC. But really, it would look fine either way. And then if it's not an animal, I decided spiders were not animals, so I did them in dark green. Yes, I know they're alive, yes, but I decided to do the spiders in dark green. If there's back stitching that is not part of an animal, there's some right here, then I'm doing it in 1 strand of the dark green. Still enjoying this one. Love it so much. All right, the colors are the dark green DMC that I'm using for back stitch 1 strand is 520. And you know how I told you I was using 1 strand of Really Tealy by Classic Colorworks to do the back stitching on the animals. I finally got my DMC and Sulky weight color cards, so I was able to take the time to figure out what color that was, and the closest matched I think is this DMC 3810. So DMC 3810 is what I will use for all the back stitching, 1 strand of this on the back stitching for any of the animals. And the Sulky dark green, the 12 weight that I am using to just do that border that matches this that I'm using for the back stitching is their solid color 1271. And I think they are very close match. And then the solid teal that I'm using for all the animals in the piece, the 12 weight Sulky, that's S-U-L-K-Y, Sulky, is 1095. And I think it is a very close match to the 3810. You can't see it because it's in the package, but I was happy with that match. And then the blendable color that I am using for most of it, the Cactus color, it's called Cactus on the sulky.com, SULKY.com website is where I ordered all my floss from. The color is 4086 is the number, but on their website it's also called Cactus, and it is several greens with a little bit of a dark yellowish brown in it. And I'm using just one strand of that Sulky 12 weight over 2 fabric threads on 36 count. This one is 36 count white linen, 1 strand of Sulky, and I love the coverage on 36 count linen. That's probably my favorite count of linen for the Sulky 12 weight is 36 count. But I've used it on 32 count and it looks fabulous on there as well. And the new normal is 40 count white linen, and I'm using 1 strand over 2 fabric threads on that as well, and I think it looks really nice on that too. I would use it on all 3, but if I had the choice I would probably choose 36 count. The Sulky 12 weight comes off the spool as 1 strand. You don't divide it or split it or anything. It's just 1 twisted strand of floss, of thread. All right, this is Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along from the Modern Folk Embroidery website. It's a yearly stitch along. He also does one every year. His you do have to purchase, and he does show you at the beginning of the year what the whole thing was going to look like. So I knew that it was going to look like this in January when I signed up for it. But you only get a part of it a month all year long. You get the next piece in your email. Most people just call it the Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along 2020, but it does have a name. It's called a Family Patchwork Sampler. And as I said, I get it in my email once a month as a PDF. I am not finished with the November section yet. I am working on that today, this week. I have basically decided I need to finish it this week. My doorbell rang, but I think it's just a delivery truck, so I'm not going to answer it. This is what I have so far. This is the November section right here that I'm working on. And then we'll have one more section in December, and then this one will be finished. This is 25 count even weave, 1/1. 1 strand of floss over 1 fabric thread, and I am using silk floss on this one. All right, hang on. Not a delivery driver, someone my husband had sent to the house to pick something up. Okay, so now we're back. This is Heaven and Earth Designs, a stitching shelf that will look like this when it is finished, except that I have the version that does not have that medallion in the middle. I started up here, so I am right there. The artwork is by Amy Stewart. And the pattern is by Heaven and Earth Designs, their website. And this is where I am so far. I was able to finish this row down to here and start up here again. When I have finished this column of 10 by 10 squares, then I'm going to move down and do this section next. This is 25 count even weave. I'm using one strand of floss. It's the called for DMC floss, and I am doing a full cross with one strand of floss over one fabric thread on 25 count. Something else I was going to say. Now I'm all flustered and I can't think of what I was doing. Oh, and I'm using the parking method, which is where you do one 10 by 10 square at a time. Some people do it on the diagonal. I do mine just in, this one I'm doing in vertical columns. And then you park, when you're done with that color thread, when you get down to here, you just park it in the next square that you're going to use it in. So that's why they look like they're all just like in the very next row down, but they're not. They're spread out all over in whatever square is the next square they're going to be used in. And then I just coil them up and tuck them in down there. Not a problem for me. Everybody does their full coverage designs different. Do it however works for you. This is Disneyland. Another full coverage piece by, this one's by Nenny Designs. I got it on Etsy. I don't think her store is called Nenny Designs. But if you search for Disneyland full coverage on Etsy, I think this will come up. And this is what I have done so far. I've been working on this little bit right here. This is a boy and a girl sitting in the teacup, in a teacup of the Teacup Ride in front of the Matterhorn. This is, and this water over here, we're getting into the submarine ride over here and the Mermaid Lagoon. This is 40 count dwarf by Picture This Plus, and I'm using one strand of DMC, the called for DMC, over two fabric threads, doing a full cross. And this one I'm also using the parking method and doing one 10 by 10 square at a time. There are a couple of different versions of that pattern. I realized on Etsy I'm doing the one that has about 50 colors. I noticed there's another version that has, I want to say it was like 113 colors or something like that. Both would be gorgeous, but just to let you know that that one that I'm working on is the one that has 50-ish colors in it. And I believe it's an old poster from the 50s or 60s, maybe the 70s, that someone scanned. Not 50s, because it only opened in 55. So probably 60s or 70s, that was a poster that someone scanned in and made into a full coverage pattern. It is not licensed by, it is not a licensed by Disney pattern. This is Four Seasons, the mini version. I'm doing the mini version. The artwork is by, I always forget his name, Jacek Yerka. Jacek Yerka. I started up here in this corner and I'm moving across this way. I'm to about right here. I haven't worked on this very much since the last time you saw it. But it seems like I did do a little bit since you've seen it. This is that blue bear sitting inside the doorway. So I finished the door and the roof of the gazebo, and now I'm working on this row down here. Using the parking method on this one as well. Doing it in 10 by 10 squares in vertical columns. Vertical columns, yes. And this is 25 count even weave, 1 strand of DMC floss over 1 fabric thread, full cross. And then my last whip, I think, is Peaceable Kingdom by Catherine Theron. This is what the whole piece looks like. This is a class piece. You have to take the class from her to get the pattern. I have finished all of this part, this top 2 sections, and this corner, and I am working on this section right here, which is all 1/1. It's a scene with houses and a ship. I think it was a kit that you get when you go to the class. I think it's 32 count linen. I know it's linen, I think it's 32 count. So I have it on scroll rods, so you can't see the upper part. I will take it off maybe in December and show you the top part again. I've showed it a couple times, but I'm working on this 1/1 section right here. So it's 1 strand of, it's a combination of cottons and silks, all different brands that came in the kit. So this section is 1 strand of floss over 1 fabric thread. And since this 32 count fabric is a very open weave, I went ahead and I'm doing a full cross on this 1/1. The directions say to use 2 strands of floss and do a tent stitch. 2 strands of floss if you were on the cotton colors, and 1 strand of floss on the silk colors in that section, and do a tent stitch, which is just half of a cross. But since it's such an open weave, I decided to do all of them, cotton and silk, a full cross with 1 strand. It seems to be working out well. And I haven't worked on that one a whole lot, but some. All right, that is all of my works in progress, sometimes called WIPs, W-I-P. And I think we are to haul. So there is an Etsy store called the Brass Button Shop. Which I have showed you several bags already that I have bought from her in my. So as you may remember that 2 videos ago, when my video with Marie, I told you that she had a U of U. I've graduated from BYU college here in university here in Utah, and the main rival for that college university in Utah is University of Utah, that's based in Salt Lake City. Their colors are red and white, our colors are blue and white, and they have always been our main rival. So in her store, she's based in northern Utah. She had some U of U fabric made into bags on her store. So I was teasing her that I couldn't believe that she did not have BYU bags. How could she have U of U bags but not have BYU bags? And she messaged me back and said, oh, I suppose that I could make a BYU bag, but I don't think I'd have to close my eyes while I stitched on it. So Marie and I were kidding on the video, and Marie was like, would that not be funny if the lines were all crooked because she was sewing it while she wasn't looking? And she said on the video, I totally think you should make my mom one with crooked lines. So like a week later after that video, 2 weeks later, I can't remember, she had new bags in her shop, and she had BYU bags. So I ordered one immediately. Well, when it came to me, they all have this beautiful quilting on the back. Well, when I got it, can you see the crooked lines? all of the quilting on the back is all these crazy lines. I laughed so hard. Thank you so much for doing that. That was so fun. And she also included this cute, she makes these cute little clear notions bags that go with them, and a little Y needle minder too. Thank you so much. That was so fun to get that in the mail. We laughed. I immediately sent a picture to Maria. I'm like, look at this. And we laughed and laughed. So when I bought the BYU bag, which has beachcomber in it, I also purchased several other bags from her at the same time. Some Christmas bags, because I needed some Christmas bags. This one is her Grinch bag, which the fabric is so cute. Look at that. This has Churchyard Christmas in it. Look at the cute little snowflake. I love her bags because they have a handle. They're big enough that I can fit an 11 by 11 Q-snap in there. They are 14 by 14, these bags. So my 11 by 11 Q-snaps fits in here just great with the pattern and the floss and everything. And I love the handle. And I also got this one. Look at that beautiful ornament fabric. So pretty. And this one has my Friend Stitch Zoom Retreat piece in it. I think the name of it is the Joy of Peace, maybe. I will work on that and finish that in December. The pattern was exclusive to the Zoom Retreat, so it's not available to purchase. It's by Bent Creek and Heart and Hand. It was a collaboration. But that cute bag, and look at the cute, oh, I didn't even show you the backing fabric. This one has red polka dot. The Grinch one has Grinch fabric on the inside as well. The inside fabric has a white background and says naughty or nice. And then this has a light blue background with snowflakes on it, the outside. Oh, the BYU one has gorgeous blue and white polka inside. That's gonna make me smile every time I look at that bag. Oh, and then there's this one, beautiful deer, red, and the beautiful plaid on the inside. Another beautiful snowflake. I'm gonna have to get that fell off. Okay. Thank you. Her shop is The Brass Button Shop. If you go to Etsy and search all one word, The Brass Button Shop, you'll come up with her shop. And she usually puts new bags on there about once a week, so keep your eyes open. They are fabulous bags. And then I also got a bag from, oh, tell me I have. Her name. It is, I think it's DMS, Dawn Marie. DMsCraftyVortex, I believe is the name of her shop. But check back. She messaged me and said her her shop is closed for a little while. But check back for when it opens again because her bags are fabulous. So this bag is 14 by 16, I believe. So it's wider than tall. Yes, 14 by 16. This is red fabric that has all these wonderful words on it. Positive words. The inside, it has New Normal in it. The inside is this beautiful orange mottled fabric, peachy color. And it has, this one, she makes them in several versions. I bought the version that has, and she has a couple different sizes too. I bought the one with this extra pocket in it. It's that you can put the pattern or anything you want in there, really. But my pattern fits in there very nicely, and it's in the back. And then everything else is in front of that pocket. Fabulous bag. It also has a handle. So another wonderful bag. So watch for that when her shop reopens. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure it's DMsCraftyVortex, all one word. Okay, that was all the bags. Uh-oh, what was that? I have the Mirabilia pattern for Princess Elliana, that one, but I did not have the beads that go with it, the, what do you call that? The embellishment pack. So I bought this embellishment pack from NaplesStitchery on Etsy. And she sent me this darling needle minder with my order. Look how cute that is. A spool of dark green thread, I think. Maybe black, maybe dark green. It's wooden. So pretty. Thank you. And it came very fast. Like a week later after I ordered it, I had it. And then the last thing I have to show is I bought some the metal needle slide little boxes, little tins, where the lid slides off. From 123 Stitch. There's these beautiful hummingbirds, and it has these, the little flowers are like they stick up. They're like little 3D kind of things. You can feel them. And they're sparkly. And I got these owls. This tree with the pink background. And these foxes. Is that right side up? Yes. And I decided I was going to, I have a tin I have this tin box that I got at a retreat, at an Only One You retreat. Jan from Tree of Life Samplings. And we made this at the retreat. She sent us this to pre-stitch, and then at the retreat we learned how to glue it to the top of this metal box. So that was fun. But I've used it all these years. That was probably, I don't know, 15 years ago. I have used it all these years to keep all my packages of needles that I buy. I just stuff them in there. And then when I'm looking for a particular size needle, I just open this up to find one. Well, it's too full now. I need to go through and take the ones that just have 1 or 2 left in them and consolidate them with another one that only has 1 or 2 left in it. And then when I started buying, I was trying some Pat Carson needles. Love Pat Carson needles. I bought some tulip needles to try. Love those. I bought some DMC, the gold ones, the solid gold, not solid gold, but gold color all the way across it ones. I usually use Peacemakers. That's been my favorite for years and years. I bought some John James, just some different needles to try out. And the Pat Carson ones are a little more expensive, and the tulip ones. So I'd like to keep them somewhere where I can find them, so I know where those ones are. So I decided I was going to use those needle slides to, I'll put all the, most of what I have is Peacemakers. So I could put all of the 24s in one, all the 26s in one, and all the 28s in one. And then I could put all my Pat Carson. I'll probably use 2 of them for Pat Carsons, because I think I mostly use 28 needles because I'm usually working on 40 count fabric or 36 count. So I think I have some 26s and some 28s of Pat Carson. So I'll use 2 of that for those, and then the others for something else. But I just thought it would be a great way to keep track of my needles so that I could find them. Because when you buy the Pat Carson, when like a 20 pack, it just comes in a little baggie. So I need to, actually I think it was just wrapped up in paper. So I need to put it in something more safe so I don't lose them. And so I can remember what they are. For plans for December, I'll just keep working on all my same rotation pieces. I'll finish the linen and thread stitch along, and I'll finish the modern folk embroidery stitch along in December. That will be exciting. And my focus piece for December, I have all of my mania pieces are usually assigned, well, 11 of my mania pieces are assigned to a specific month to work on, kind of as a focus piece. If they're smaller, I can finish them. If they're larger and I know I'm not going to finish them, I just work on them during that month as my focus piece. But my mania start that was assigned to December is this little Mill Hill gingerbread house ornament. It's about half beads, half stitching. And this is how far I got done, how much I got done during mania. So I will work on that and finish it in December. It won't take very much longer to finish that one. I always use a tacky bob when I bead. It's just a 3.5 inch. If you're as old as I am, then you would recognize this as a floppy drive case for a 3.5 inch floppy drive disc. But they put the stuff on the inside that makes it very sticky on this side and this side. So you can put your little piles of beads on there, lay it down, you know, pick it up. Sometimes your needle and your thread on your needle isn't very long, so you kind of have to pick it up to get that bead and put it back down. But you can pick it up, the beads will not fall off. I even had my cat step on it once, then shook its foot until it came off. It flew across the room, and the beads were, like 90% of the beads were still stuck to it. So it works nice as a beading tray to put your beads on. So I'll be finishing that in December. And what did I just do with the other one? I'll finish this piece from the Friend Stitch Zoom retreat in December, and then I will keep working on Churchyard Christmas, besides all my other regular rotation pieces. And then I believe the day after Christmas, I'm going to start the Kingdom of Books kit that I have. So I will, in a couple weeks when I make a video in December, I'll pull that out and show it to you, and the fabric that I think I have finally decided to stitch it on. And I think that's everything. I hope you all have a safe holiday season. It's just going to be a very strange season. My scripture study that I've been doing, and mental health professionals all recommend that one great thing to do when you're in a stressful situation like a pandemic is to focus on your blessings, focus on past blessings that you've received, focus on all of the positive things in your life, create things to look forward to that you can do during the pandemic. There's lots of things we can't do, but try and make some things to look forward to, and that will help. So I'm focusing on, this will be the first time in 55 years that I've not spent Thanksgiving with extended family. It will just be my husband and I in my house, which will be hard and very different, but I'm trying to focus on the positive. It's going to be fine. This will all be over eventually. So I'm cooking for 2 people is way easier than cooking for a whole bunch of people. So it won't take nearly as long. The cleanup won't take nearly as long, and it will all still be delicious. We'll Zoom with our family during Thanksgiving dinner on a Zoom call, so that will be fun. I've set up a huge 1,500 piece puzzle out in the main room where I would normally have kids and little grandkids and everyone, and I wouldn't be able to put that out because the little tiny ones would try and pull the pieces off and eat them. So we'll work on that. Gonna stay in my comfy clothes all day, have my little, we have a fake space heater, but it looks like a fireplace. That will be fun. We'll have that on, and my warm socks, and I'll stitch and work on a puzzle and watch the Macy's Day Parade and enjoy the day. I hope you all have a safe week and that you're all doing well. And thank you so much for all of your comments and all the people who reached out to me. I really do appreciate it. Bye-bye.